Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. I'm Tommy Spina. Frank Fleming's talking with us today. Frank, you've talked about your humble beginnings, extremely humble beginnings, and you still possess that certain quality, I can tell, because I've known you for quite a while, and you don't project the supremacy that you have attained in the world of art.
Well, my mama always said, don't get above your raising.
Ah, very good words.
That's something I have stuck with. I have stuck with
Those
that.
are good words.
But
words matter.
Words matter, yeah. But getting back to when I first discovered I had a talent, you know, as a kid, like I said, I grew up with a horrible speech impediment. And I was one time walking in the cornfield, and a rabid fox attacked me. I killed it. I had a hoe. I always carried a hoe if I walked in the woods or stuff like that, because we couldn't work on Sunday, and I got terribly, terribly bored because we couldn't. So I would sneak off into the woods.
For religious reasons.
Yeah. Well, Sunday was the Sabbath and the Lord's Day. You know, so we didn't work, you know. We would usually sit on the front porch and count cars, you know. That was very entertaining back then, back in the 40s, 50s, you know.
So you've had a rat nibble on your finger and a rabid fox come after you.
A rabid fox. Well, I killed a rabid fox, and my speech was so bad I couldn't even tell my family about it. So no one ever knew about this rabid fox story. No one ever knew it until I got to where I could talk. But anyway, getting back to when I first discovered I had talent, the state Easter sales, we had an agriculture teacher who taught picking cotton and pulling corn and stuff like that, came to my parents and said, look, this boy is a bright kid. There's nothing wrong with him mentally. And there is a speech therapist at Florence State College, which is now University of North Alabama, that can help this child. So my senior year in high school, I spent my last semester in Florence taking speech therapy, 8 hours a day. And I was thrown in with, there were about 15, 20 of us, from kids on up to adults, you know. So I was going to major in biology, and I inadvertently took an art course and found out I could draw, found I had this talent. So I changed my major from biology, got an art major, and that's how I discovered my talent.
When did you first start working? Most of your art evolves out of nature.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Was that what it was always?
That is all I knew. That is all I knew. That's what interested me, because I was fascinated with nature. I still am.
I know people don't know this, but even in your backyard, you're quite the gardener.
Well,
maybe not as active as you once were.
I used to be a very avid gardener until I had to battle sepsis that left me probably half the person I was before I caught it or got it, you know. But
where do your inspirations for some of the pieces that you've developed? We have a piece at the airport, for example. The Birmingham Museum of Art has a large gallery of your art.
Yep.
And you're also up in D.C. and all over the world, actually.
Yeah.
Where does the inspiration for example, 5 Points South, where does that come from?
Well, I tell you, when I think in art forms. Everything I see can be put into art, because that's how I think.
And it goes from there to your hands?
Yeah, it does. I program in the piece I don't do drawings. I don't do sketches. I program it in my mind and send it through my hands.
And what a lot of people probably don't understand, the art that he creates originates in a room smaller than this rug
Yeah, that's about
at his home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can work in a very, very small place. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, do you have help in translating what comes from your brain to your hands to ultimately to the gallery? Do you have help with that?
You, as you're saying, someone else helping me.
Yeah.
I have a guy who works with me on Mondays, and he helps take care of the house. He helps do errands. He does house cleaning, and he works in the wax room with me. He doesn't create anything. He just cleans up the waxes when you pour them in a mold, when you pour waxes in a mold. And by the way, I only work with the small molds. The big molds are at foundries in Cleveland, Ohio, Union City, Georgia. They have all my big molds. So they do all the big pieces from start to finish.
But you create the wax.
Yeah, I create.
And then they would convert that to bronze or whatever material.
I do it. I pour it in like I will make a mold of a little monkey, let's say. I will make that in clay, porcelain. Then I will do a rubber mold around that, and a mother mold around the rubber. A mother mold is made out of plaster to hold the rubber mold in shape while you pour the wax in it. So you pour the wax into that, and you get it out of the mold, and then you have to clean it up on the mold marks and stuff like that, And I send that to the foundry. They dip it in a solution of ceramic and sand, ceramic mixture. It's a water-based ceramic mixture. And they build up a shell on the piece of wax that's probably a quarter, half-inch thick or so. And they burn out the wax, called the lost wax process. They burn the wax out and break the mold, the ceramic shell mold, away from the bronze. And then they have to clean up the bronze. They have to polish it and grind it and get the mold marks off of it, So it's that's why, bronze casting is so expensive, because it's quite time
and labor intensive.
Yeah, labor intensive.
Hold that. I want to talk some more about the lost wax method. This is Our Issues Birmingham. We're with Frank Fleming. We'll be right back.